Hello, this is Arielle from the Conspicuous Bear, and I'll be narrating the heroic version of the Gruul encounter in Blackrock Foundry from a Guardian point of view. For the most part, Gruul is a pretty simple encounter, which makes sense since it's probably the first one you'll be facing in Blackrock Foundry. There's a couple of tank mechanics you have to worry about, and then one just general raid mechanic that you can ignore it, but it's probably more to your advantage to not ignore it. So the first of these tank mechanics is called Overwhelming Blows. Basically, he'll smash an area in front of him for physical damage, about 200,000 physical damage or so, and then you get a debuff which increases the amount of damage you take from overwhelming blows in the future. Now the reason this is something you have to worry about is because you need to make sure that you're not standing on top of anyone when this happens, because they will probably die, since they don't have the same amount of survivability that a tank does. So you need to make sure that Gruul is not facing anyone else for overwhelming blows, and this can be sometimes problematic when dealing with the second tank mechanic called Inferno Slice. He will basically slice the area in front of him for a bunch of damage, a bunch of physical damage, and everyone else will take fire damage. This is something that you'll probably get used to in Blackrock Foundry. There's a lot of things where different people will take different kinds of damage. Anyway, the key here is you need to face Gruul towards a group of people to split the damage so you don't get murdered. Typically, you'll split the raid into two groups, and then you'll either run or taunt him into a group for Inferno Slice, and then you'll split the damage and then either swap back to make sure that nobody dies to Overwhelming Blows, or move back, or what have you. There's a couple different ways you can do it. You can either do it by taunting for swaps, or you can do it by just simply running to whatever group you're in. In this video, you can see that I'm running to whichever group is taking the Inferno Slice rather than taunting. You can do whatever you want, really. And additionally, both Inferno Slice and Overwhelming Blows are the tank swap mechanic. So basically, you need to make sure that you're swapping. You can do it every two for Inferno Slice, because that's how often or how long it takes for Inferno Slice debuff to wear off. Or you can do it every three Inferno Slices to make sure the Overwhelming Blows debuff wears off. Kind of up to you. This video, you see we do it every three. Others do it every two. You'll have to sort that out with your other co-tank, and decide how you want to approach it. Just be aware that both debuffs will easily fall off during his Berserk or Smash phase, or what do you want to call it. The phase where he does overhead smash a bunch of times. Both debuffs will easily fall off during that phase, so you don't have to worry about them carrying over. Which brings me to the third thing you have to worry about, which is called overhead smash. This is only going to be a problem during the Berserk, during the phase where he's doing it a bunch of times, because otherwise he won't. I don't think he overhead smashes in front of him otherwise. I'm pretty sure he doesn't. So, let's make sure you're not standing in it. And problem solved. Talents are, the stereotypical talents. You take Feline Swiftness, because you can't charge anything, and Displacer Beast is useless. So, moving out of things is good, because there's a lot of things to move out of. Well, some things to move out of. You take Cenarian Ward, because the other two talents are bad. You take Soul of the Forest, because the other two talents are bad for this fight. You take Dream of Cenarius because the other two talents are bad, and you take Pulverize because the other two talents are bad. Yeah, you'll be hearing that a lot over the course of these videos. There's not really any much Guardian-specific things you need to worry about. It's useful to have a cooldown rotation for the Inferno Slices. I would go just take the first one with Pulverize, take the second one with Pulverize and Barkskin, and then take the third one with Pulverize and Survival Instincts. You can choose to SI the first or both the second and third ones if you want. You don't really need to. And if you're not using Pulverize for some bizarre reason, then you just take the first one naked, second one Barkskin, third one SI. You could, in theory, make an argument that Bristling Furs get here, but because Pulverize reduces all the other damage, and Bristling Fur would only be used for Inferno Slices, it's not really an argument I'd buy. In any case, that's all for Heroic Gruul. Good luck in Blackrock Foundry.